Previously, I did a full breakdown on the labyrinth that Ramirez created and also the 10 laws of the labyrinth, so I thought it would be nice to talk about Beretta, one of the most hardworking and overworked person inside the labyrinth. As usual, I'll be going over her backstory, powers and abilities and see just how powerful Beretta actually is. Now, there will be spoilers for her character and story, so here's a spoiler warning just in case. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video and maybe subscribe to the channel for more Tensura content in the future.
あんた、錆びないの？
To start, before Beretta was summoned to the material world, she has a greater demon that resided in the spiritual world, and she's actually a descendant of Diablo, the Black Primordial. And just like her progenitor Diablo, Beretta is quite eccentric, doing whatever she enjoys and putting her personal feelings first, but she still retains a high level of etiquette and calmness when it comes to whatever she does. She first appeared briefly in episode 23 of season 1 after she was summoned by Rimuru. This happened because when Rimuru visited the dwelling of the spirits, he had destroyed the elemental colossus that Ramirez created, so he promised to create a new guardian for her. So Rimuru used some of the leftover Magisteel he still had to create a Magisteel doll and use it as a body for the demon that he was about to summon. The doll was designed to be human in shape, possessing a slender figure and standing a little less than 6 feet tall with a facial covering on the head that matches the design of Rimuru's mask. Then before summoning the demon, Rimuru had placed a master lock on the body, which is a spell inscribed with orders from the creator to make sure the summoned demon will behave, and he even included a rule that allows the demon to refuse any weird requests from Ramirez just in case. After Rimuru finished his preparations, he started the summoning ritual, and because he wanted a stronger, more intelligent demon that has a sense of self, a greater demon had appeared before him. Fun fact, according to Diablo, he was supposed to be the one to answer Rimuru's summoning here, but Beretta had gotten ahead of him. This caused Diablo to be jealous of Beretta, and he even tried to secretly purge her behind Rimuru's back, but because the body was created by Rimuru, it would have been sacrilegious to damage the body, so he decided to leave her alone. Honestly, Diablo was lucky to avoid becoming Ramirez's subordinate, and he would have been absolutely miserable. So anyways, the greater demon will pledge its allegiance to Rimuru, and before inhabiting the Magisteel doll, a contract was made. The greater demon has to protect and serve Ramirez for 100 years, and for payment, Rimuru will be providing his magical energy and the Magisteel body to the demon. However, after the contract expires, the demon can keep the body and is free to do whatever it wants, so the demon requested to serve Rimuru once the contract is over. Both parties agreed, and Rimuru transferred the demon's spiritual body into the Magisteel doll. After the demon fully merged with the Magisteel doll, Rimuru decided to give his new creation a name, and because the beautiful lines of the doll reminded him of the famous firearm, he decided to give it the name of Beretta. So with a new name, Beretta managed to evolve into an Archdoll, and normally greater demons will have threat levels of rank A-, but with this evolution, she now has a threat level of rank A, making her a hazard class monster. Afterwards, Rimuru left, and Beretta would spend most of her time in the dwelling of the spirits, helping Ramirez carry out various research. The next time Beretta would see her creator again was when she accompanied Ramirez to the Tempest Federation so they could warn Rimuru about the upcoming Walpurgis. Now, in the light novel, Beretta also informed Rimuru that after he awakened as a true Demon Lord, she managed to receive the Harvest Festival gift as well, causing her to evolve from an Archdoll to a Chaos Doll, but this bit of detail was left out in the anime. Now, being a Chaos Doll, it meant that Beretta can now switch between the holy and demonic attribute. This ability to change her attribute is mainly thanks to a unique skill Amano Jaku, or also known as Reverser, which allows her to change from the demon race to angel race and vice versa. According to Rimuru, Beretta likely acquired this unique skill because she has sensed her master's feelings of anxiety when he was trapped inside the holy purification barrier, and this is her answer to that weakness. Additionally, her evolution also caused her Magisteel body to transform into Adamantite, and it is now considered to be at the legendary grade, meaning that most conventional physical and magical attacks will no longer affect her. Now, besides that, Beretta has also reached the disaster class threat level and is estimated to have an existence value of 400,000 or more. So moving on, Beretta attended Walpurgis with Ramirez, and they were joined by Trainee, who recently became one of Ramirez's subordinates. During Walpurgis, Rimuru would end up fighting Clayman, but because he was outnumbered, Beretta wanted to join the battle. However, when Ramirez requested Guy Crimson to allow Beretta to join the battle, he refused because he sensed that Beretta wasn't completely loyal to Ramirez. This is because although Beretta had grown to like and respect Ramirez, Rimuru was still her summoner and creator, so she felt a need to repay his kindness. That's why she wanted to serve the both of them. However, Guy wasn't pleased by her answer, so he forced Beretta to choose a single master, and she agreed to pledge her full loyalty towards Ramirez. After hearing this, Guy allowed her to join the battle and she would fight against Clayman's puppet Viola, but the fight was quickly ended. Beretta even dismantled all the unique great weapons and armors that Viola possessed and presented them to Rimuru as trophies. This is because Ramorous wanted to move to Tempest, so Beretta was trying to help her ask Rimuru for permission. Another reason is that if Ramorous was allowed to stay in Tempest, Beretta would be able to indirectly serve Rimuru through Ramorous without breaking her promise to Guy. However, when Walpurgis ended, Rimuru declined their proposal, so they went back to the Dwelling of the Spirits. But despite Beretta's efforts, she couldn't convince Ramorous to let go of the plan, and it certainly didn't help when Trainee was there supporting Ramorous' idea. So they sealed off the entrance to the Dwelling of the Spirits, and Beretta was forced to participate in their plan. After arriving at the outer gates of Tempest, Beretta and Trainee helped Ramorous build a small wooden hut there, but they were discovered by Rimuru. Rimuru decided to listen to Beretta's explanation because she was the only sensible person left, and in the end, he allowed Ramorous to build her new labyrinth in Tempest. So Ramorous built her new labyrinth underneath the Colosseum, and most of the preparation and setting up were mainly done by Beretta and Trainee. Also, if you want to know more about the labyrinth, I already did a full breakdown on my channel, so click on the top right corner to check it out if you're interested. Now, when they were constructing the labyrinth, Rimuru knew about the promise Beretta made with Guy, and to avoid any trouble, he decided to deactivate the Master Lock and transfer the Master Access to Ramorous. This meant that Beretta was now officially a subordinate of Ramorous, although she was still connected to Rimuru because he created her, so if Ramorous ever dies, access will be given back to him. Also, because Beretta was now an official subordinate, it meant that she could no longer die inside the labyrinth and can simply be revived by Ramorous, which will be important later. But moving on, I want to go over some of the jobs that Beretta had to do when the labyrinth opened. So her official title is Dungeon Master, but she is often referred to as Ramorous' errand boy instead, which is a title she really does not like. This is because she has to do almost everything inside, like managing the inhabitants and floor guardians, taking care of the labyrinth operation, and fulfilling the whims of Ramorous. She even became a guinea pig to test out the items developed by Ramorous. But that's not all. Beretta was also the acting floor guardian of the 90th floor for a while because Kumara was still a child during that period, and she even fought Hinata once, although she was easily defeated by her. Later, she also became the floor guardian of floor 70 when Vesta managed to develop a new demon colossus, and she was responsible for being the remote pilot. Her workload increased even more when Rimuru introduced the 10 lords of the labyrinth. Beretta was given the role of overseer, but she was mainly included to fill in the numbers, and she found this role to be a waste of time. That's why when the Eastern Empire invaded, she finally had a reason to step down as overseer and announced that whoever performed the greatest will earn the title. So during the invasion of the labyrinth, Beretta did not participate in the battle because her job was to protect Ramorous and monitor the conditions, so she allowed Ghidorah, who has just recently joined, to fight as one of the labyrinth lords instead. When the Eastern Empire forces were defeated, Beretta officially stepped down as the overseer, and the position was given to Zagion during the reward ceremony. After the reward ceremony, the Eastern Empire attacked again, and this time the top 50 floors of the labyrinth were destroyed by the true dragon Valgrind, so Beretta had to work overtime to contain the damages done. Later, Phantom King Felway and his forces attacked the labyrinth as well, but because the majority of the labyrinth lords were still in their evolutionary sleep, Beretta and a handful of people were the only ones left to defend the labyrinth. And this is the only instance where we get a good look at what Beretta is capable of, because when they were inside the control room, Dino had betrayed them and tried to capture Ramorous. However, she was able to quickly sense Dino's intention and protected Ramorous. She then engaged Dino in battle, and even though there was a clear difference in combat strength, Beretta was still able to hold off Dino using her combat sense and skills. She also fully utilized the fact that she couldn't be killed inside the labyrinth, and she knew that all she needed to win was to stall for time until the other labyrinth lords awakened. And when Dino used his unique skill Sloth and activated Slothful Sleep Fallen Hypno to put everyone to sleep, Beretta was the only one resisting its effects. And just as she had planned, she bought enough time for Apito to awaken, and when she arrived to help, Beretta immediately orders her to destroy her core so she could be resurrected. Afterwards, both of them fought Dino, with Beretta acting as the tank and support while Apito used her speed and range attack to wear him down. However, Dino used Sloth again and Apito fell asleep, but this time, after having experienced it once, Beretta had already created a countermeasure in such a short time, showing again her combat prowess and how fast she can adapt. In the end, Dino was forced to reveal his final trump card, and that was using his ultimate skill, Heavenly King Astarte, to evolve his unique skill Sloth into the ultimate skill, Sloth King Belphegor. Beretta was finally defeated when Dino used Fallen Catastrophe, but she did her job and Zagion finally awakens, so Dino was successfully repelled by them. When the battle was over, Beretta was disappointed with her own performance, but Rimuru still congratulated her and he decided to awaken her into a true Demon Lord. She was given 100,000 souls and she managed to evolve into a Chaos Metalloid, causing her body to transform from Adamantite to the ultimate metal Hihirokane or Scarlet Steel. This is considered to be a legendary metal that possesses immutable properties, meaning that it cannot be destroyed, and when it is damaged, it can be repaired just by saturating it with magicals. So with this evolution, her entire body is now equivalent to the mythical grade level. She is also part of the Super Awakened class and she possesses an EV of almost 2 million. But that's not all, her unique skill Reverser was also sacrificed to create the ultimate skill Divine Machine King Deus Ex Machina, giving her the ultimate control over matter and earth. Some of the sub-skills include the usual ones like Thought Acceleration, Universal Perception, Demon Lord Haki, Spatial Manipulation, and Multi-Layer Barrier. Inverted Fusion is another one, and this is the skill she retained from Reverser. There's also Mineral Domination and Earth Manipulation, which are sub-skills born from her body transforming into Scarlet Matter. Using these two sub-skills, she can actually freely create and manipulate any matters and minerals she wants as long as there's a source, basically like matter bending. The scariest part of her control over matters and minerals is the fact that she can even manipulate her own body freely, turning into liquid matter like the T-1000 Terminator, and she could essentially suffocate or crush people like a slime. And like I said in the beginning, she was already immune to most physical and magical attacks, but now practically no physical attacks can even harm her anymore. So in the latest volumes, Beretta is currently staying back in the Labyrinth to protect Remiris, while Remus subordinates and several of the Labyrinth Lords were dispatched to help the other Demon Lords. However, I feel like the Labyrinth will still play some role in the upcoming story, so there might be a chance we'll see Beretta use her new powers in the future.
褒めに扱い、強越至極。
褒めてねえよ。
So yeah, that's everything I managed to gather on Beretta, Remiris' most overworked subordinate, and although a lot of the time in the anime was cut, I hope this video managed to help you better understand her character. Also, don't forget to leave a comment on what you think of Beretta, and if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like or subscribe to the channel for more character breakdowns like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe everyone.